ready to become a master negotiator. I mean, who isn't, right? We're diving deep into Maurice A. Bercoft's The Art of Negotiation. This guy takes the Harvard method and makes it, actually useful for us regular folks.
Absolutely. It's about getting down to the nitty-gritty. No more vague theories.
Exactly. Whether you're closing a deal at work, haggling at a flea market, or just trying to convince your significant other to try that new restaurant, we got some serious insights coming your way.
What strikes me about Bercoft is his emphasis on preparation.
Yeah, most negotiation books say that. What makes Bercoft different?
He's not just talking about, knowing your stuff. It's about a deep dive into, everything. Your goals, what you're willing to budge on, and most importantly, understanding the other side of the table.
It's like that saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Kind of, but more like understand your opponent so well you can practically predict their next move.
So it's not just about winning. It's about, strategic empathy.
There you go. You need to know their needs, their motivations, what they're afraid of even.
It reminds me of this one time.
Oh.
I was trying to buy this vintage record player, right? Thought I was getting a steal. Turns out I didn't even bother to check if it was, actually rare. Ended up paying way too much for something pretty ordinary.
Ouch. That's a classic example of where Bercoft's BT&A comes in.
BT&A.
Your best alternative to a negotiated agreement. It's like your safety net. Knowing your walkaway point gives you so much leverage.
Makes sense. You're not desperate.
Yeah.
If this deal doesn't work, you've got other options.
Exactly. Imagine you're buying a house. Having another offer lined up gives you the confidence to negotiate harder on your dream home.
So we've done our homework, got our BT&A sorted. How do we actually kick things off?
Bercoft's big on setting the right atmosphere. It's about building trust.
So it's not like a poker game where you're trying to psych the other person out.
Not at all. Think of it as creating a space where everyone feels comfortable and respected. That's how you find common ground, those shared interests that can lead to a win-win.
Like a dance almost. Finding that rhythm.
I like that analogy. And that brings us to the heart of it. Communication.
Yeah, seems pretty obvious, right?
It's more than just talking. Bercoft's all about active listening, really understanding what the other person is saying, not just waiting for your turn to speak.
Oh, man. I'm so guilty of that. Sometimes I get so caught up in my own head, planning my next brilliant point, I totally miss what the other person is trying to tell me.
We've all been there. But active listening can be a game changer. And of course, there will be disagreements.
Sure, that's part of it, right?
Right. But Bercoft's approach is to tackle those head on, but factually, objectively, leaving the drama out of it.
So keeping a cool head.
Definitely. He also talks a lot about nonverbal cues, your posture, eye contact.
Ooh, like that thing about crossed arms meaning you're closed off.
Exactly. Those subtle signals can make or break a negotiation. Bercoft even has this tool he calls a crossed objectives table.
Was that some kind of spreadsheet?
Sort of. It's a way to visually map out yours and the other party's objectives. It helps see where you might clash and where compromise is possible.
That's interesting, but could it make things feel, too formal? Like we're adversaries instead of collaborators?
That's a good point. Bercoft stresses that you need to adapt his tools to the situation. Sometimes a more relaxed vibe is better.
It's about being aware of the tools, knowing when to use them.
Precisely. And ultimately, it all ties back to that idea of a win-win.
That's a big one for Bercoft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Finding solutions that benefit everyone.
It's not about crushing the other side. It's about collaborating, finding creative solutions.
Like that classic prisoner's dilemma from game theory. They always end up better off if they cooperate, right?
You got it. Bercoft's all about strategic concessions, knowing what you can give up without losing sight of your main goals.
So you're maximizing results while, preserving the relationship.
Exactly. And to help with all of this, Bercoft lays out some super practical tools. He even applies the SWOT analysis to negotiation.
SWOT, like strengths, weaknesses?
Yeah. Yep. And opportunities and threats. Helps you figure out your advantages, where you're vulnerable, potential pitfalls.
Actually, I used a SWOT analysis to plan my last vacation. Helped prioritize what to see and avoid any travel disasters.
See, Bercoft's principles are applicable everywhere. He also gets into some pretty powerful persuasion techniques.
Like mind control.
Not quite. It's about using facts, logic, examples to build a solid case. No shady tricks.
So evidence-based persuasion, not manipulation. Got it. And Bercoft walks us through all this with real-life examples.
Absolutely. From negotiating big business deals to handling conflict in the workplace, he shows how his method works in all sorts of situations.
I'm thinking this could apply to anything, right? Asking for a raise, settling a dispute with a neighbor.
You name it, Bercoft's insights are incredibly versatile.
So at the end of the day, it seems like Bercoft's approach boils down to this. Prepare like crazy, communicate clearly, and always aim for that win-win.
Couldn't have summarized it better myself.
There you have it. You're now officially armed with the wisdom of Maurice A. Bercoft.
Go forth and negotiate. And as you practice these techniques, pay attention to the little things, those unspoken cues. You'll be amazed at what you can achieve with a little bit of finesse.
And who knows, maybe you'll even avoid paying a king's ransom for a run-of-the-mill record player. Until next time.